I hold the pieces together, but I'm falling apart inside. God, it's me again. The one who keeps the schedules, holds the hands, wipes the tears, calms the storms, and makes sure everyone else is okay. The one who remembers birthdays, makes meals, picks up the pieces, quietly, without needing to be asked. They call me dependable, responsible, strong, and maybe I am. But tonight, I just feel tired. Not the kind of tired a nap can fix, not even the kind a vacation can heal. I'm tired in my soul. Like my heart has been carrying too many pieces for too long, and now I can feel them slipping. God, I hold it all together. I smile when I want to cry. I say, I'm fine, when I want to scream. I pour out what I don't even have left. Because if I don't hold it together, who will? But here's the truth I never say out loud. I feel like I'm falling apart inside. Quietly. Secretly. Like a bridge that's weathered one storm too many. Like a house that looks perfect on the outside, but has cracks beneath the paint. I don't want to resent the people I love, but sometimes I do. Not because they mean to hurt me, but because they don't see that I'm hurting too. They see my smile, not my exhaustion. They see my strength, not my breaking. They see what I do, not what it costs me. And so I keep going, I keep giving, I keep carrying. But God, can I put it all down? Just for a minute? Just with you? Can I collapse into your arms and not be the strong one here? Can I let go of all the I got this masks and just whisper, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I don't want to be dramatic. I don't want attention. I just want to feel like someone sees me, like someone cares. Not because I'm helpful, but because I'm human, because I'm yours. So tonight, God, I give you what I won't give anyone else. My sadness, my fear, my aching bones, and tired breath. I give you the truth behind my smile. Hold me together, Lord, because I can't do it much longer alone. Amen.
Everyone needs me, but no one asks if I'm okay. God, it's such a strange ache to be essential to everyone, yet invisible at the same time. They call, they text, they knock, asking for rides, advice, money, help, comfort, presents, and I give it all because that's who I am, because that's who I've always been. But not once today, not one single time did anyone ask, how are you really? Not out of politeness, not the rushed, you good, in passing, but that kind of pause that says, I actually care about your heart. And God, I hate how much I notice. I hate that I keep track, that my mind remembers who asked, who forgot, who never even thought to check. I don't want to keep score, but I'm human. And it hurts. It hurts to be the person everyone needs, but no one sees. It hurts to carry people's pain while no one even notices the quiet tears I've tucked away in my pillow at 2 a.m. God, I'm tired of being the strong one, tired of being the safe place for everyone else when I have nowhere to run to myself. Do you see me, Lord? Do you notice the way I hold space for others while longing for someone to hold space for me? Do you hear the silence after the good deed is done? When the room is empty and I'm left with the weight of being needed but not nurtured? God, I don't want a parade. I don't need a round of applause. I just want to be asked, just once in a while, if I'm okay. And I want the person asking to actually mean it. Tonight, I bring this ache to you, not to be dramatic, not to complain, but because you're the only one who stays when everyone else forgets. You're the only one who sees when my heart sinks a little lower with every unnoticed effort, every overlooked offering. So I lay this silent sadness at your feet, the one I hide behind good deeds and busy hands. And I ask you, please, be the one who asks, even if no one else ever does. Amen.
I'm always the shoulder, never the one held. God, there's something deeply lonely about being the strong one, the one who listens, the one who hugs, the one who holds space when others fall apart. I've been that shoulder so many times. Solid, steady, comforting. I've sat through midnight phone calls. I've held trembling hands. I've offered tissues, whispered encouragement, and reminded others that they were not alone. But God, when I cry, when I break, when I ache, there is no shoulder waiting for me. I'm the one who gets left with the lights off, hugging my own knees, telling myself to be okay again. And I'm tired of being the one who absorbs pain while hiding my own. Tired of being the first call in crisis, but the last thought in celebration. Tired of always being there and never being asked to sit down and be held. Why does it feel like being kind means being invisible? Why does being strong so often mean being alone? God, I don't want to resent the people I love. I don't want to grow bitter. But some days, I just want to collapse. Not in secret, but into someone's arms. Someone who says, "Come here. You don't have to be the strong one right now. Let me carry you this time." God, can that someone be you? Will you hold me the way I've held everyone else? Will you let me cry without rushing to fix it? Will you wrap me up in silence and presence, not with answers, but with love? Tonight, I need a shoulder too. A holy shoulder. One that won't look away when I unravel. So I come to you, Lord, because you've never asked me to be perfect. You've never needed me to have it all together. You've just wanted me, the real, raw, weary me. So here I am, letting go, leaning in, being held. Amen.
They count on me, but I'm out of strength. God, they depend on me every day, without pause, without question. They say things like, "I don't know what I'd do without you. You're the rock of this family. You always come through." And I nod. I smile. Because I want to be dependable. Because I want to be someone they can count on. But lately, God, it feels like I've been pouring from a cup that's been empty for a long, long time. I keep giving because they need me, because it's expected, because no one stops to think that maybe I'm the one who's running on fumes. I say yes when I want to say, "Please not today." I show up when all I want is to be left alone. I carry their weight, even when I can barely carry my own. It's not that I don't love them. I do. But love isn't supposed to drain a person until there's nothing left. And right now, God, there's almost nothing left. I'm tired in a way that seeps into my bones. Even when I sleep, I wake up exhausted. Even when I rest, my soul stays restless. And yet, they keep counting on me. They don't know I cry in the shower. They don't see the moments I freeze in place, just trying to gather enough energy to keep going. God, I'm not angry with them. I'm just worn. Like a threadbare cloth, still trying to hold everything together, even as it frays at the edges. So tonight I come to you because I have nothing left to give. Refill me, Lord, not with more responsibility, not with more expectations, but with grace, with breath, with stillness. Remind me that even you rested, even you stepped away to the quiet places. So surely, I am allowed to collapse sometimes too. Hold my hands that have done too much. Soothe my mind that's racing with everyone else's needs. Strengthen my heart not to serve more, but to survive this season without losing myself. God, they count on me, but right now, I need to count on you. Amen.
I smile so they don't worry, not because I'm fine. God, they say I have a beautiful smile, and maybe I do, but what they don't know, what they never ask, is what's hiding behind it. That smile, it's not always joy. It's often armor, a soft disguise for a soul that's quietly breaking. I smile so they don't ask, so they don't worry, so they won't feel the need to comfort me, because deep down, I believe they wouldn't know how. Or worse, they wouldn't stay long enough to try. So, I keep up the act. I make the joke. I play the role. I put on the face that makes things easier for everyone else. Because if I show them the cracks, what if they turn away? What if my pain is too inconvenient? What if the moment I drop the smile, the silence that follows is louder than I can bear? God, I've become so good at pretending. Even I start to believe it sometimes. I forget how long it's been since someone looked into my eyes and saw past the curve of my lips. Noticed the weariness in my voice, the forced cheer in my laugh, the weight behind my words. God, you know. You always know. You see beyond what others are too distracted to notice. You see the girl who smiles at the dinner table, but cries in the car on the way home. You see the man who says, "I'm good, thanks," but clenches his fists to stay upright. You see the one who leads, serves, comforts, performs, but is secretly begging for someone to say, "You don't have to smile today." So tonight, God, I let go of the performance. Not for them, but for you. I bring you the real me, the one behind the pleasant tone, behind the steady hands, behind the eyes that keep scanning the room to make sure everyone else is okay. God, tell me it's safe to be real with you. Tell me I don't have to earn compassion, that I don't have to be cheerful to be worthy of care. Sit with me in the raw, unfiltered version of my heart. Catch my tears that have nowhere else to land. Hold me, not because I'm strong or put together, but simply because I'm yours. Amen. I keep showing up, even when I'm empty. God, I wish I could say I'm strong, because I feel strong. But that's not the truth. The truth is, I show up because I don't know how to stop. Even when I'm exhausted, even when I feel like a hollow shell walking through my own life, even when I lie in bed and whisper, I can't do this again, somehow I still do. I make the lunch, answer the messages, pick up the call, show up at the meeting, wipe the tears off someone else's face with hands that haven't had time to wipe my own. I'm not fueled by energy anymore. I'm running on obligation and guilt and the silent belief that if I don't show up, everything will fall apart. But God, I'm the one falling apart now. No one sees how much effort it takes to keep functioning, to get out of bed, to smile and say, sure, I can do that, to hold up all the things that everyone else drops. I keep showing up because they expect me to, because they're used to me being the one who never fails, never flakes, never folds. But Lord, what happens when I do? What happens when the person who shows up for everyone else realizes no one is showing up for them? I'm tired of pretending I'm limitless. I'm tired of feeling like my value is only in what I can offer. God, do you still see me when I have nothing left to give? When my prayers are whispered through clenched jaws and my hands are too shaky to serve? When I'm no longer productive, impressive, or reliable? Do I still matter when I'm just tired? I don't want to keep living like this, giving until I break, loving until I disappear, serving until I don't even recognize myself in the mirror. God, I need you to show up for me this time. Remind me that I am more than what I do, more than what I carry, more than how much I can endure. Give me permission to rest, to pause, to breathe, to stop proving my worth through sacrifice. Hold me in the stillness where I'm not needed, just wanted. Not used, just loved. Amen.
When I cry, I hide, because no one notices anyway. God, I've learned how to cry quietly, how to weep behind bathroom doors, how to let the tears fall silently in the dark, so no one hears, no one sees, no one has to feel uncomfortable. Because truthfully, they wouldn't notice. Or worse, they would, but still walk away. I don't cry for attention. I cry because the pressure builds up until there's no more space left inside me to hold it. But even then, I tuck it away. I bite my lip, wipe my cheeks, and pretend nothing happened. Because I've been taught, through silence, through absence, through the echo of empty rooms, that my pain is too loud for others to carry. So, I carry it alone. God, there's something deeply painful about realizing your sadness doesn't matter to the people you love. That your voice shakes and the world stays busy. That your heart breaks and no one turns their head to look. It makes me feel like a ghost in my own life. Present, but not seen. Needed, but not nurtured. Known, but never truly noticed. So I stopped expecting anyone to come when I fall. I stopped hoping that someone might notice the quiet heaviness in my tone. I learned to hide my tears like secrets, to cry in places no one will look, to break in ways that don't make noise. But you, God, you don't flinch when I fall apart. You don't walk away when I cry too much.
You don't need me to be okay before I come to you. You just want me real, raw, open, even if that means messy and undone. So tonight, I won't hide the tears from you. I won't pretend. I won't fix my face or smooth out my voice. I'll let the sadness spill, knowing you catch every drop. God, please be near in this quiet ache. Hold the heart I hide from everyone else. Remind me that even when no one notices, you do. And that's enough. Amen.
I'm not strong. I just don't have a choice. God, they keep telling me how strong I am, how impressed they are, how much they admire the way I handle everything. But they don't see the truth behind the strength. They don't know that I never asked to be strong. I just didn't have a choice. If I fall apart, who's going to pick up the pieces? If I stop, who's going to carry what I carry? If I let go, what else will come crashing down? So I keep going. I keep holding things together, not because I want to, but because no one else will. And that doesn't feel like strength, God. That feels like survival. That feels like a silent, lonely war I fight every single day with a smile on my face and an ache in my chest. I'm not the hero in some brave story. I'm just tired. Tired of being the one everyone depends on, but no one protects. Tired of being the solution to everyone's crisis while silently drowning in my own. God, I've worn this strong title for so long, it feels like a mask I can't take off. Like I'll disappoint the whole world if I say, I'm not okay. But you, Lord, you see through the mask. You know that strength isn't about pretending. It's about enduring what no one else understands and still coming to you, honest, broken, real. So tonight, I lay down the pressure to be strong. I admit what I never say out loud. I'm tired of carrying this all alone. I need help. I need rest. I need someone to hold me and not expect me to keep holding everything else. God, let it be you. Trade my burden for your peace. Trade this exhaustion for your grace. Remind me that even warriors need refuge, and even the strong are allowed to fall into their Father's arms. Tonight, I'm not strong. I'm just yours, and that's enough. Amen.
My needs always come last, or not at all. God, I've grown used to waiting, to holding my breath until everyone else has what they need, to stepping aside, lowering my voice, shrinking my needs so others can shine, eat, speak, feel, rest. Some days I wonder, have I trained the world to forget me? Not on purpose, not in bitterness, but out of habit, because it felt easier to meet everyone else's needs than to risk asking for mine and being met with silence. So I stopped asking, stopped hoping, stopped believing that maybe, just maybe, what I need also matters. And now, it's like I don't even know what my needs are anymore. I've buried them under to-do lists, under meals and errands and back-to-back expectations. They say, you're amazing. I don't know how you do it all. And I smile. But the truth is, I do it all because I've forgotten how to do anything for myself. God, is it selfish to want something for me? Is it wrong to feel that tiny flicker of resentment when they take and never ask, what about you? Even when I'm sick, I'm still serving. Even when I'm tired, I still listen. Even when I'm barely holding on, I still show up. But when will someone show up for me? God, I don't need grand gestures. Just a moment, a pause, a look that says,
you matter too. Please remind me that my needs are not a burden, that they are not too much, too messy, or too inconvenient. Please remind me that you don't just care about what I do, you care about who I am and what I quietly long for. Tonight, I give you the parts of me I've silenced, the needs I've pushed down, the ache I hide behind a serving heart. See me, God, not for what I give, but for what I've given up, and gently give some of it back. Amen. They think I'm fine because I don't complain. God, there's this strange misunderstanding that happens when you're quiet about your pain, when you smile instead of sob, when you say, "It's okay," instead of, "I'm barely surviving." They take your silence as strength, your calm as contentment, your patience as peace, and they assume you must be fine. But I'm not fine, God. I'm just used to not being asked, used to swallowing what I feel because there never seems to be room for it. I don't complain because I've seen how quickly people turn away when the conversation gets uncomfortable, when the tears come, when the truth doesn't fit into their schedule. So I keep it light. I keep it neat. I wrap my struggles in humor and tuck my heart behind duty. But inside, I wish someone would look me in the eye and say, "You don't have to be strong right now. I'm listening." Not to fix me, not to judge, just to listen. But no one hears what I never say, and so they keep thinking I'm okay, because I don't break loudly enough to disturb them. God, you're different. You hear what I never voice. You notice the tremble behind the laugh. You see the weight I carry in the spaces where no one else even looks. You don't wait for me to fall apart to care. You love me in the holding on, in the silence, in the quiet ache. So here I am, Lord. No mask, no act, no "I'm fine." I'm not okay, and I need that to be enough. Sit with me in this honesty. Help me unlearn the belief that silence equals strength, that hiding means healing, that being quiet about pain makes it disappear. God, thank you for listening when no one else even thinks to ask. Thank you for hearing me, even when I don't make a sound. Amen.
The cost of being reliable is that I'm forgotten. God, they trust me. They rely on me. They know I'll be there. And I am. I show up. I deliver. I help. I make it work again and again. But somewhere along the way, being reliable became being invisible. Because I don't make a fuss, because I don't complain, because I say yes and I make it happen every time. So they stop checking in. They assume I'm fine. They forget that I'm human too, not just a safety net, a support system, a steady hand behind the scenes. And God, it hurts. Not because I want to be praised, not because I need recognition, but because sometimes I just want to be remembered. Not when they need something, not when something goes wrong, but on an ordinary day, just because I exist. I want someone to say, "Hey, I was thinking about you. Do you need anything? Thank you for always being there. How are you really?" But that kind of care feels rare, like people only see me when I'm serving a purpose. God, I know love isn't supposed to be transactional, but lately, it feels like I'm only loved for what I can give, not for who I am when I stop giving. Sometimes I wonder,
If I disappeared for a day, a week, a month, would anyone notice? Would anyone reach out just to make sure I'm okay? God, I need you to remind me that my worth is not defined by how useful I am. That even when the world forgets me, you never do. You remember my name when no one calls. You see my heart when no one checks in. You notice my absence even when others don't. So tonight, I give you the weight of being forgotten, the ache of always showing up and rarely being seen. Remind me, Lord, that you call me beloved, even when the world calls me reliable, and nothing more. Amen.
God, I'm tired of pretending I can handle it all. I've been carrying this weight so long, I've forgotten what it feels like to just be soft, be held, be allowed to not have it all together. Somewhere along the way, I learned that if I want peace, I have to create it. If I want help, I have to push through alone. If I want anything done, I have to be the one to do it. So I became the fixer, the planner, the glue. And the more capable I became, the less anyone thought to ask, "Do you need help? Do you even want this burden?" I smile. I nod. I juggle schedules, soothe arguments, manage chaos. But inside, I'm exhausted, not just physically, soul tired, emotionally hollow, because I've built a life around the illusion that I can handle everything, but I can't. And I'm tired of pretending I can. God, why does everyone else get to fall apart and still be loved, while I have to be composed to be respected? Why do I feel like my worth is attached to how well I can carry the weight? I don't want to impress anyone anymore. I don't want to prove anything. I just want to rest. God, will you take this facade from me? Will you let me cry without shame? Will you hold me? Not for what I can do, but simply because I'm your child. I don't want another task. I don't need another compliment. I need a safe place to admit that I'm not okay and still be enough. God, you've never asked me to be perfect. You've never demanded that I hold it all together. You've just asked me to come. Tired, bruised, overwhelmed, still welcome, still wanted. So here I am. No more pretending. No more masks. Just me. Weak but willing. Empty but open. Please hold what I can't anymore. Amen.
I don't recognize myself anymore. God. There's a mirror in my house I used to stand in front of, adjusting my shirt, fixing my hair, smiling just to see if it reached my eyes. But lately, I avoid it. Not because of how I look, but because I barely know the person looking back. Where did she go? The version of me who used to laugh from the belly, who had ideas, passions, random dreams just for the fun of it? Where's the girl who read books for no reason? Who painted her nails just because she liked the color? Who could sit in silence without feeling guilty? God, she's gone. Or maybe she's still here, just buried, under responsibility, under exhaustion, under everyone else's needs that always came before her own. I look in the mirror now and see someone stretched thin, someone who's functioning but no longer living. My eyes carry too many late nights, my face too many forced smiles. My voice sounds like someone who knows how to say yes, but not how to say me. And Lord, I miss myself. Not in some selfish way, but in a quiet, aching, where did I go kind of way. I gave and gave and gave until I forgot what it felt like to receive. I became what everyone needed and slowly stopped asking who I even am. God, can you remind me? Remind me of the parts of me that weren't built around being useful? Show me who I was when I didn't feel so responsible for everyone's happiness. Breathe life into the corners of my soul that haven't been touched in years, not for anyone else's sake, but for mine, because I'm still here, even if faintly. I want to return to the girl who wasn't always tired, to the girl who sang in the car, to the girl who knew how to say, "This is what I want." God, I know I'm not lost to you, even when I feel lost to myself. So guide me back to joy, back to freedom, back to the version of me that didn't just survive, but truly lived. Amen.
I gave up my dreams so others could keep theirs. God, I used to have dreams. Not extravagant ones, not loud or glittery, just quiet hopes, tender visions of who I might become, what I might create, where I might go if I had the space to chase it. But somehow, over the years, those dreams were gently folded up and placed in the back of a drawer, behind everyone else's needs. I didn't mind at first. I told myself it was temporary, that sacrifice was love, that helping others reach their dreams was a noble reason to delay my own. So I stayed behind the curtain. I cheered from the sidelines. I poured into their goals, their passions, their paths, until mine faded completely out of view. Now I hear people talk about purpose, about calling, about chasing what sets their soul on fire. And I wonder, quietly, what would I have become if I had let myself try? I don't regret loving them. I don't regret giving. But God, why did it cost me so much of myself? Why does love sometimes feel like erasure? Why do I feel guilty for even wanting something of my own? I've celebrated their victories. I've caught their dreams mid-air and helped them fly. But my hands are still empty. My heart still wonders, was there ever space for me? God, I'm not asking for a do-over. I know life is layered and complicated and real. But I am asking this. Is it too late to dream again? Is it too late for you to awaken something inside me that hasn't died, only gone quiet? I don't need a stage. I don't need the spotlight. I just need permission to want again, to imagine again, to believe that I still matter, even if no one else is asking, what about your dreams? God, will you ask? Will you pull those hopes from the drawer, dust them off, and whisper, let's begin again? Because I think maybe I'm ready. Amen.
I'm always there, but never their first thought. God, I don't want to keep score. I really don't. But sometimes it stings to realize that while I'm always there, I'm rarely anyone's first call. When something exciting happens, they call someone else. When something goes wrong, they turn to others first. And only when plans fall through, when others don't answer, when they remember I'll always say yes, that's when I get the message. And I answer. I show up because I love them, because I care. But deep inside, God, a quiet ache grows. An ache that whispers, you're reliable, but not remarkable. You're needed, but not chosen. I know they don't mean to hurt me. I know they appreciate what I do. But I can't help but wonder,
What would it feel like to be the first person someone thinks of? To be the one they're eager to share joy with, not just the one they turn to when things fall apart? What would it feel like to be wanted, not for what I provide, but simply for who I am? God, I don't want to grow bitter. I don't want to close my heart. But some days, being second thought, backup plan, emotional safety net, it's wearing me down. So tonight, I bring this unseen sorrow to you, because you don't choose me last. You don't forget I'm here. You don't call me only when others fail. You think of me first, even when the world doesn't. You call me beloved before I prove anything. You delight in me, even when I'm not serving. So remind me of that truth, Lord, on the days when I feel overlooked, on the nights when my name is absent from the guest list, but my help is always expected. Remind me that my value isn't found in being first to others, but in being held first by you. Amen.
My birthday passed, and no one noticed. God, I didn't expect a party. I didn't need balloons or gifts or anything extravagant, but I thought someone, just one person, might remember. A text, a voice, a few simple words. Happy birthday. I'm glad you're here. But the day came, and it went, and my phone stayed quiet. No candles, no cards, no reminders that my life meant something to someone other than me. God, I didn't want attention. I just wanted to feel seen. To know that for one day, someone thought of me without needing anything in return. Because I remember their birthdays. I plan. I give. I pour out love in the ways I know how. Not because I expect it back, but because it matters. Because they matter. But on my day, silence. It's such a small thing, and yet it cut deep. Not because of the day itself, but because it reminded me how easily I'm forgotten. How often I give and still feel invisible. I smiled like it didn't matter. I said I'm fine. But inside, Lord, I ached. Not for celebration, but for acknowledgement. For proof that my existence isn't just tied to what I do for others, but that simply being here is worth remembering. God, you didn't forget. Not once in my life have you forgotten me. You were there when I took my first breath. You counted every hair on my head. You wrote my name on the palm of your hand. So tonight, I hand you this quiet grief, this ache I kept hidden behind polite smiles and shrugged shoulders. Hold it for me, heal it, and whisper, "Happy birthday, beloved. I never stopped celebrating you." Because even if the world forgets, you never do. Amen. I laugh online, but cry alone. God, I've become so good at curating smiles, at posting encouragement, at leaving comments like, "So proud of you," "You've got this," or sending love, even when I feel completely empty inside. People see the version of me that's filtered, cheerful, always positive, always present. But what they don't see, what they don't want to see, is the me who curls into bed after logging off, the me who scrolls through joyful posts with a tightness in my chest, wondering why I feel so alone in a world so connected. I laugh online because it's easier than explaining the truth. Because if I'm honest, no one seems to stay when the conversation gets too real. So I become the encourager, the supporter, the safe space, even when I'm silently unraveling. God, what do I do with this loneliness that hides behind screens and emojis? What do I do when my community knows the version of me I've created for their comfort, but not the actual me crying at the kitchen sink because I don't know how to ask for help? I hate that I feel like a stranger to my own joy, that I can uplift others in comments, but can't find the words to describe the hollow ache I carry. I don't blame them. Not really. People are busy. They love the me who shows up strong. They forget the me who needs to fall apart too. But you, God, you see the difference. You see the quiet divide between who I appear to be and who I actually am when the notifications stop buzzing. You see the smile I post and the tears I cry only in the dark. And you don't turn away. You sit with me in my unseen sadness. You hold me in the loneliness no one checks in on. So tonight, Lord, I log out of pretending. I log out of performance. And I bring you the unfiltered me. No captions, no edits. Just my real heart saying, I'm lonely, God. Please, just be near. Amen.
I do everything, yet feel invisible. God, I wake up early. I make the calls. I remember the little things. I refill what's empty, clean what's messy, fix what's broken, without being asked, without being thanked. They walk past the clean kitchen, the folded clothes, the calendar I updated for everyone but me, and they just keep going. No nod, no smile, no pause. Because in their eyes, it's just what I do. But to me, it's love, it's care, it's effort no one sees. God, I'm tired of feeling like a background character in my own life, like someone who keeps the lights on but never gets invited to sit at the table and rest beneath them. I don't do what I do to be praised, but still, being unseen hurts because it makes me feel like my presence only matters when something goes wrong, when they need something, when something is missing, and I'm expected to silently fill in the gap. But when I'm the one feeling empty, no one notices. When I'm quiet, they assume I'm fine. When I stop showing up with a smile, they call me moody. When I pull away to rest, they say I'm distant. They don't ask why. They just move on until I return to being invisible and available. God, I know you see me, not just what I do, but who I am underneath it all. You see the intention in every unnoticed gesture, the love behind every quiet act of care, the weariness I carry in my bones but try to hide behind busy hands. You never overlook me. You never walk past my pain. You never expect me to serve without also inviting me to be held. So tonight, I stop waiting for them to see. I let go of hoping for acknowledgement from people who don't even realize they've forgotten me. And I turn my eyes to you. Remind me, Lord, that I am not invisible in your kingdom, that even the quiet, hidden things matter to the heart of the God who watches over it all. Let me feel seen tonight, even if only by you. Amen.
The house is clean, but my heart is cluttered. God, the floors are swept, the dishes are done, the counters are clear. Everything looks peaceful from the outside, neat, organized, held together. But inside me, it's chaos. There are thoughts I've shoved into the corners, emotions I've left piled in the back of my mind, dreams gathering dust on the shelves of my heart because there's never time or space for me. I keep busy. I scrub, I wipe, I fold, not just because it needs to be done, but because it's the only part of my life I feel like I can control. I can't fix how forgotten I feel. I can't clean up the loneliness. I can't organize the ache that comes when I give and still feel empty. but I can make the beds. I can vacuum the floor. I can put everything in its place, except for me. Because, God, I don't know where I belong anymore. I've created order for everyone else, but the mess inside me keeps growing, and no one sees it. No one asks. They walk into the home I've made and say, "Wow, you're amazing. Everything looks perfect." And I smile, but they don't know that behind the tidy surfaces, I'm drowning in the clutter of my soul. God, I need help cleaning up the inside, not with bleach or a broom, but with gentleness, with truth, with your quiet presence moving through every room of my heart that I've closed off for too long. I open the door to you, Lord, not the version of me that looks put together, but the real me, the weary me, the messy, complicated, hidden me. Declutter what I've buried. Clear out the resentment, the guilt, the fear of being a burden. Make space in me again for joy, for breath, for being. Even if no one else ever notices the work you do in me, I'll know, and I'll be okay. Amen.
They say thank you, but never really see me. God, they say thank you. They smile. They nod politely after I help, after I show up, after I carry the weight they didn't even realize was heavy. But it feels automatic, like punctuation at the end of a sentence, a reflex, not a reaching. Because gratitude is not the same as being seen. They appreciate the gesture, but not the heart behind it. They acknowledge the act, but not the exhaustion it came from. God, how do I keep giving when every thank you feels like a wall instead of a window? It ends the moment, but never opens space to ask, "Are you okay? How are you really doing with everything you're carrying?" Ask you to do this for me. I don't need applause, but I do long to be known, to be looked in the eye, not just with politeness, but with presence, with awareness, with genuine care that doesn't end at thanks. Because I notice things. I remember birthdays. I check in at just the right moment. I show up when no one else does. And I do it because I love them. But love given in silence still wants to be received. Not just acknowledged, but felt. God, I bring you this ache tonight. This ache of giving while feeling unseen. Of hearing thank you, but never hearing, how are you really doing with everything you're carrying? Let your voice be the one that goes deeper. Tell me you see it all. The late nights, the silent prayers, the quiet sacrifices I don't even mention out loud. Tell me you don't just say thank you, you say, I see you, I know you, I'm with you. Because when the world only sees the act, you see the heart. And that's what keeps me going. Amen.
I miss the version of me who felt alive. God, there was a time when I didn't feel so heavy, when I laughed not politely, but with abandon, when I woke up excited for the day, not already tired before my feet touched the floor. There was a version of me who sang along to the radio, who danced in the kitchen, who had dreams that weren't just about survival. She wasn't perfect, but she was present, alive, open. And now I feel more like a function than a person, like a checklist, a title, a role. I show up, I do the things, I go through the motions, but somewhere along the way, I stopped feeling like me. It's not that I'm unhappy all the time, it's just I'm numb. Like I've learned to live on autopilot and forgotten how to come home to myself. God, I miss that version of me. Not because she had everything figured out, but because she felt free. Because she didn't apologize for needing joy. Because she believed she was allowed to be more than useful. When did I decide that being alive meant being tired all the time? When did I stop giving myself permission to play, to rest, to dream? I don't want to resent the life I've built, but I do want to find my way back to being inside it, not just managing it. God, is she still in there, the version of me who felt light, the one who lit up when the sun hit her face, who could sit in silence and actually feel peace? If she is, please guide me back, even if slowly, even if it takes time. Help me peel away the layers of pressure and productivity until I feel my own soul again, not for anyone else's benefit, but for mine. Because you didn't create me to be a machine. You didn't breathe life into me so I could forget how it feels to live. So tonight, Lord, help me remember even just one small thing that makes me feel alive again, and I'll follow you from there. Amen.
I'm afraid to fall apart, because then who will hold everything? God, sometimes I feel the tears pressing against the back of my eyes like waves against a dam. I feel the tightness in my chest, the weight in my bones, the tremble in my hands that I keep hiding from the world. There's a part of me, a quiet, desperate part, that just wants to collapse, to fall into a puddle of honesty and admit, I can't keep doing this. But I don't, because I'm afraid that if I let go, everything else will fall apart. The meals, the kids, the job, the appointments, the people who count on me to hold steady so they can breathe. I am the unspoken glue, the steady presence, the one who knows what to do when others don't. And God, I've worn that role for so long that even I have forgotten what it feels like to be held. It's not that I don't want to fall apart, it's that I don't feel safe to do it. Because when I'm not holding things, no one else does. And that's the truth I never say out loud. But you, Lord, you're not like them. You don't need me to hold everything together. You don't ask me to stay strong so you can show up. You are the strength. You are the arms. You are the refuge I've been trying to build for others and forgetting I could run to myself. So here I am, still scared, still shaking, but inching closer to you with a whispered hope that says, maybe I don't have to hold it all anymore. Maybe I can let it fall and you won't flinch. Maybe I can unravel and you won't walk away. Maybe I can say, I can't do this alone, and you'll say, you were never meant to. God, I give you the fear, the pressure, the weight I never asked to carry. And I ask, just for tonight, can you hold it? Hold the world so I can fall into grace and not into pieces? Amen.
I help everyone heal while I keep bleeding inside. God, people come to me when their hearts are heavy, when they're hurting, when they don't know who else to call. And I answer every time. I listen. I reassure. I show up with tenderness, with wisdom, with strength I barely have left. And they walk away lighter, stronger, whole. But me? I stay behind, quietly bleeding into the same spaces where I poured out comfort. Because no one stops to ask if the healer is hurting too. No one thinks to wonder if the one who listens so well might be aching for someone to hear them for once. God, I don't resent them.
I love being a safe place. I love giving comfort. But sometimes I want someone to notice the bandages I keep hidden, the wounds I've learned to tend on my own because no one ever lingers long enough to see them. I offer hope to others while telling myself to just get over it. I speak life into their darkness while silently carrying my own shadows. And the truth is, I don't know how much longer I can help others heal while I keep quietly breaking. God, will you be the one who sees? Will you be the one who says, stop patching everyone else. Let me tend to you. I don't need grand gestures. I don't need applause. I just need to know that someone cares when I'm not okay. That someone sees what I don't say out loud. So tonight, I bring you the wounds I've hidden behind strength, the pain I've silenced behind service, the ache I've carried behind other people's healing journeys. I'm not asking to stop caring. I'm asking to be cared for too. Let my bleeding heart rest in your hands. Let your presence be the balm I've given to so many others. And remind me that I am not just a vessel for healing. I am someone worth healing too. Amen.
I feel guilty for wanting attention. God, why does it feel so wrong to want to be noticed? Why do I shrink the moment my heart whispers, I wish someone would ask about me today? I've learned to be the quiet one, the dependable one, the one who claps for others and stands in the background, content to celebrate, to support, to stay small. And yet, sometimes, I wish the spotlight would shift, just for a moment, not to perform, not to impress, but to be seen, to have someone ask, how are you really? To have a conversation where I'm not the listener, not the fixer, not the strong one. But when those thoughts come, I feel guilty, like I've betrayed humility, like I'm selfish for wanting something as simple as attention. Because haven't I been taught that real love doesn't demand anything back? That true kindness is silent, invisible, grateful just to serve? And yet, God, even you, the creator of the universe, longed for connection. You walked with Adam in the garden. You asked Peter, "Do you love me?" You wept with Martha and Mary. Even you desired to be known. So maybe I'm not broken for wanting someone to ask how I'm doing without needing something from me. Maybe I'm not prideful for craving eye contact that says, "You matter, I see you." God, I don't want the attention that seeks fame. I want the attention that comes from love, from someone choosing to pause their world just to enter mine, even if only for a few sacred minutes. Please teach me that my longing to be seen is not something to be ashamed of. It's a reflection of the way you created us, for connection, for presence, for mutual care. So tonight, I bring you this quiet guilt, this silent wish, not to demand anything, but to let go of the shame I've carried for simply wanting to be noticed. See me here, Lord, in the longing, in the stillness, in the small ache that just says, please, don't overlook me. Amen. I don't know how to receive help anymore. God, there was a time when I would have welcomed a helping hand, when I would have said yes without guilt. when I would have allowed someone to carry the load for a while without apologizing for being tired. But now, I flinch when someone offers. I instinctively say, "It's okay, I've got it," even when I clearly don't. It's not pride, Lord. It's just habit. It's fear. It's a worn-out belief that receiving help makes me weak, or a burden, or too much. I've been the helper for so long, I don't know what it feels like to be helped without owing something in return. I brace myself for strings attached. I anticipate judgment. I assume that kindness has an expiration date, and I'd rather not get used to something that will eventually be taken away. So I say no, even when I want to say yes, even when I desperately want someone to step in, to take over, to tell me, "You don't have to do this alone anymore." God, help me unlearn this. Help me believe that it's okay to receive without immediately offering something back. That it's okay to let someone support me without proving I deserve it. That accepting care is not weakness, it's sacred trust. It's humility. It's human. And God, if no one else offers, then let me receive from you. Let me practice being the one who rests in your arms instead of always being the one holding others up. Let me feel what it's like to lean fully, deeply, safely, without worrying if I'm too much. Tonight, I open my hands, not to give, but to receive. Peace, grace, help I didn't earn, but still need. Remind me that you are not disappointed when I need to be held. You delight in caring for me, not because I'm broken, but because you're mine. Amen.
God, why am I only valuable when I'm useful? It feels like the moment I stop doing, I stop mattering. Like my worth evaporates the second I'm no longer meeting someone's need, solving someone's problem, making someone's life easier. And I hate that I feel this way. I hate that I've started to believe I have to earn my place in people's hearts by being useful. That if I'm not productive, if I'm not available, if I'm not constantly giving, then I'm dispensable, replaceable, invisible. And the hardest part? Sometimes I can't tell if people love me or if they love the version of me that makes their life more comfortable. God, I know you didn't create me to be a tool, a task, a never-ending supply of support. But somewhere along the way, I learned that usefulness equals worth, that being needed equals being loved. So I keep performing, keep showing up, keep pushing past my limits just to stay valuable in a world that doesn't know how to hold people who simply are. God, is it okay to want to be wanted for more than what I can do? To be loved when I have nothing to offer? To be chosen even when I'm tired, even when I'm quiet, even when I say no? God, I need you to remind me, gently, powerfully, that my value is not tied to how many people I serve, that I am not only lovable when I'm useful, that I am still worthy when I'm resting, when I'm healing, when I'm empty. Because you loved me before I lifted a single finger, before I gave a single gift, before I became someone else's solution. You loved me when I was simply me. So tonight I stop trying to prove myself. I lay down the fear that if I stop helping, I'll stop mattering.
And I breathe in this truth. I am loved even when I'm not needed. I am chosen even when I'm not useful. I am yours, always. Amen.
I don't want applause. I just want someone to understand. God, I'm not asking for praise. I don't need a standing ovation. I'm not chasing medals, certificates, or recognition. But I do long to be understood, to be looked at, not just seen, but truly understood. Not for what I do, but for why I do it, for what it costs me to keep showing up, to keep caring, to keep going, even when I feel like I'm unraveling inside. God, it's not about being celebrated. It's about not feeling alone in my efforts. I want someone to say, I get it. I know this is hard. I see what you're carrying, even when you don't say a word. But most people see what's convenient. They notice the results, not the soul behind them. They comment on the surface, but never ask about the roots. And I nod, I thank them, while quietly aching for something deeper. God, I don't want empty praise. I want connection. I want presence. I want someone to sit with me and say, you don't have to explain. I understand. But even when no one else does, you do. You understand me in ways no human ever could. You don't need me to find the right words. You don't need a performance or a report. You just know. You read the space between my sighs. You gather the pieces of my heart before they hit the ground. So tonight, God, I bring you this ache, this craving to be known without effort, to be understood without explanation. And I let it rest in your hands. Because in your presence, I don't have to justify my exhaustion. I don't have to prove that I've tried hard enough. I don't have to smile and pretend I'm okay. With you, I'm safe to be real, raw, unfiltered, understood. And somehow that's more healing than any applause this world could ever give. Amen.
I'm not asking for much, just to be seen. God, I'm not asking for the world. I'm not begging for constant attention or to be the center of anything. I'm not looking for grand gestures or dramatic declarations. I just want to be seen, really seen, not for what I do, but for who I am when no one's watching, for the effort I pour into the invisible places, for the love I give without being asked, for the quiet pain I carry with a steady face. God, it's such a small thing, and yet it feels like everything, because so much of my life is spent fading into the background while helping others shine, making space for their voices, their needs, their stories, while mine remain quietly tucked away. I don't mind loving others. I don't mind serving. But sometimes when the house is quiet and the lights are low and the weight of the day settles into my bones, I whisper into the dark, "Did anyone notice me today?" Not in a needy way, not in a desperate way, but in that human, aching way that says, I exist. I matter. Right? God, I know you see me. I know you never look past me. I know that even when the world walks by, your eyes linger on me with compassion. So remind me again tonight
that being seen by you is not second best. It's not a consolation prize. It's holy. It's healing. It's real. And even if no one else pauses long enough to look beyond what I offer, you do. You see the heart beneath the hands that serve, the tears behind the smile, the child behind the caregiver. You see me. You value me. You call me by name when everyone else just calls me helpful. So let that be enough, Lord. Let your gaze be the one I crave most. Let your attention be the anchor when I feel unseen in every other space. Because you don't miss a thing, especially not me. Amen.
Please let someone ask me how I'm really doing. God, I don't need someone to fix everything. I'm not looking for miracles or magic words. I'm not expecting someone to carry all of this for me. But just once, I wish someone would ask, not out of politeness, not as a formality on their way to another topic, but from the heart, with stillness, with presence, with the kind of softness that says, I'm not going anywhere. I really want to know. Because I'm always the one asking, how are you? How is your heart? Is there anything I can do? And I mean it every time. But I rarely, so rarely, hear those same words directed back at me. People assume I'm strong. They assume I don't need checking in. They assume I'm fine because I'm functioning. But God, functioning is not the same as flourishing. Doing everything is not the same as being okay. And while I know you're always here and you always see, there's something deeply healing about hearing another human say, tell me, I've got time. It's not about dumping pain. It's about sharing space. It's about someone stepping out of their own orbit just to enter mine, even for a moment. So tonight, I bring you this simple prayer. God, please, let someone ask. Let someone notice the crack in my voice. Let someone hear the quiet in my texts. Let someone care enough to stay when my answer isn't shiny or short. And if no one does, then help me not grow bitter. Help me not close off the parts of me that still long for connection. And most of all, remind me that you're asking right now, through this prayer, that you lean in, not just because you're God, but because you're my Father, and because you never grow tired of hearing how I really am. So here I am, God, answering the question no one else asked. I'm tired. I'm stretched thin. I'm still showing up, but I'm not okay. And you listen, without rushing me, without fixing me, just loving me as I am. And somehow, that's enough. Amen.
Let me be weak, without guilt, just for a moment. God, I'm so tired of being strong, so tired of holding it together, of smiling when I'm breaking, of standing tall when everything inside me wants to collapse. I've worn strength like a uniform, pressed, clean, unwrinkled, even when my heart has been in shreds. And the hardest part is, no one notices the cost. No one sees the tears I swallow, the anger I bury, the pressure I internalize, so that everyone else can stay calm. I've convinced the world that I'm the capable one, the stable one, the one who never needs hope. But the truth is, Lord, I do. I need help. I need rest.
I need to cry without apologizing. I need to breathe without performing. I need to fall apart without fearing that I'll be judged or resented or seen as less. Please, God, just for a moment, can you give me permission to be weak? Not forever, not irresponsibly, just honestly. Let me feel the ache without rushing to numb it. Let me admit I'm struggling without immediately defending it. Let me exhale without worrying who I'll disappoint. God, the guilt is what exhausts me the most. It whispers, if you rest, you're lazy. If you cry, you're dramatic. If you say you're overwhelmed, you're failing. But you never say that. You never shamed David for his weeping. You never dismissed Elijah's despair. You didn't rush Martha in her grief or silence Job in his pain. You sat with the broken. You knelt with the weary. You held space for human fragility and called it sacred. So tonight, I let go of guilt. I let go of the lie that strength is the only thing that makes me worthy. And I whisper in a voice that's small but sincere, God, I can't do it all tonight. Can you hold me instead? Because in your presence, weakness isn't failure. It's trust. It's intimacy. It's real. And for the first time in a long time, I want to be real again. Amen.
Give me permission to rest, God, without earning it. God, I don't know when rest became something I had to earn, something I'm only allowed after I've checked every box, helped every person, finished every task, and still kept a smile on my face. Even then, rest feels like a guilty indulgence instead of a sacred necessity. I lie down, but my mind keeps working. I close my eyes, but my heart keeps racing. And every time I try to stop, a voice inside whispers, "You haven't done enough yet." God, where did I learn that rest must be deserved? That unless I'm exhausted, I don't have the right to be still? That slowing down means I'm falling behind? But you never said that. You didn't build the Sabbath as a reward for productivity. You created it as a rhythm, a holy pause, a reminder that we are not machines, that we are not what we produce, that we can rest simply because we're yours. So tonight, Lord, I ask you for permission I've been too afraid to give myself. Let me rest without guilt, not because I earned it, not because I finished the list, but because I am human, because I am tired, because even you, the creator of everything, rested on the seventh day. Remind me that I don't have to break before I'm allowed to pause, that I don't have to collapse to be worthy of care. God, soothe the restless part of me that ties my value to my output. Unwind the lie that I must always be doing something to matter. Let my bed become an altar tonight. Let stillness become worship. Let the quiet become holy. And as I lay down my body, help me lay down my burdens too, because in your presence, rest is not selfish, it's sacred. And tonight, I need that kind of grace. Amen.
I don't want to be useful. I want to be loved. God, I know I've been helpful. I know I've been dependable. I know I've been the one who always comes through. But deep inside, there's a longing that no amount of productivity can satisfy. I don't want to be valued just for what I can do.
I want to be loved, simply for who I am. I've spent so much of my life being someone's answer, someone's helper, someone's support system. And I'm proud of that, but I'm also so tired. Because when the only time people call me is when they need something, I begin to wonder if they see me as a person or just a solution. God, I'm more than what I can offer. I have a heart, a soul, a quiet need to be chosen, not for how convenient I am, but for how human I am. Sometimes I wonder, if I stopped being useful, if I stopped fixing everything, if I stopped being the reliable one, would they still stay? Would they still want me when I have nothing left to give? Would they love me when I say no? When I set boundaries? When I'm not the strong one anymore? God, remind me that I don't have to earn affection. That love, real love, doesn't keep score, doesn't demand, doesn't disappear when I'm no longer helpful. You've never loved me because I was useful. You loved me before I did anything at all. You love me because you're yours. So tonight, I release the pressure to prove my worth through service. I lay down the lie that love must be bought with self-sacrifice. And I ask you, teach me how to be loved again, to receive love without suspicion, to believe that I'm still worthy when I'm not fixing anything. Let someone choose me not for what I bring, but for who I am when I'm still, quiet, unfiltered. Because that's where real love lives. And that's the love I'm longing for. Amen.
They forgot me, but you, God, never do, right? God, I try not to take it personally. I tell myself people are busy, distracted, preoccupied with their own lives, that they didn't mean to forget me, they just did. The texts that stopped coming, the invitations that never arrived, the updates I saw online instead of hearing from them directly, moments when I realized I was no longer part of the circle I once belonged to. And I smiled. I said I understood, but quietly, it hurt. Because I remember their birthdays. I show up when they're in need. I pray for them when they don't know. And yet, when I need someone, when I simply want to feel included, it's like I disappear. God, they forgot me. And I'm left wondering, did I matter to them? Was I only a convenience? Did they ever really see me, or just what I could do? And in that place of quiet heartbreak, another whisper rises. God hasn't forgotten you, right? Because sometimes when the silence stretches too long, when the prayers feel unanswered, when I feel invisible to the people I love, I start to wonder, am I invisible to you too? But then I remember, you knit me together. You wrote my name in your hands. You see every tear that falls in secret. You leave the 99 to find the one. And sometimes, God, I am the one. So I come to you with the ache of being forgotten, and I ask you to hold it gently, not with platitudes, but with presence. Remind me that I'm still known, still loved, still chosen, even when the phone doesn't ring, even when the room is full, but no one notices I've grown quiet. God, don't let me go unseen, not by you. Let your attention be the anchor when the world forgets my name, because in your memory, I am never lost, never overlooked, never too small to matter. And tonight, that's the only kind of remembering my heart truly needs. Amen.
Can you fill the empty places no one else notices? God, there are places inside me that feel hollow, not broken, not dramatic, just quietly aching empty. They've been there a while now. These soft spaces of longing to be seen, to be chosen, to be poured into, instead of always being the one who pours. And the strange thing is, no one sees them, not because they don't care, but because I've gotten so good at hiding them, smiling over the ache, working through the hunger, saying, "I'm fine," when something inside whispers, "But I'm not full." I go through the motions, I do what's expected, and I keep showing up, hoping that somewhere along the way, someone might notice the wear in my eyes, the silence in my joy, the hesitation in my yes. But they don't. And so these empty places stay tucked away, growing quieter, but never gone. God, I bring them to you now, not because I think you need them, but because I can't keep carrying them alone. Can you fill them? These empty rooms where encouragement should live. These vacant shelves where dreams once sat. These quiet corners of my soul that even I forget to visit. I don't need noise. I don't need more people. I need presence. Yours. Because you see the spaces others miss. You know the thirst I don't speak aloud. You understand the ache of a heart that gives endlessly, but quietly wonders, is there anything left for me? So fill me, Lord, not just with comfort, but with your presence, with a love that settles into the bones, with peace that doesn't require permission, with joy that bubbles up even in the silent places. Let me feel full again, not from the world's attention, but from your gentle, unwavering care. Because even the quietest emptiness becomes sacred when you're invited in. Amen. Be the hand that holds me when no one else does. God, I've been the hand for so many. The hand that wipes the tears, that steadies the shoulder, that pulls others back from the edge. I've offered comfort without asking, stayed longer than expected, held others through moments they didn't even realize were too much for them to carry alone. But when it's me, when I'm the one trembling, the one unraveling, the one staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., my hand often remains empty. No one reaches for it. No one pulls me close. No one says, "You don't have to go through this alone." And I try to be okay with that. I tell myself I'm strong enough, that I've learned how to hold myself. But even strength needs softness. Even endurance needs embrace. So tonight, God, I reach for you, not because I'm falling apart in public, but because I've grown too good at breaking in silence. Be the hand that finds mine in the dark, the steady, unwavering grip that doesn't let go when the world gets too loud, when the pain gets too quiet, when the room gets too empty. I don't need words. I don't need rescue. I just need presence. A touch that tells me I'm not forgotten. I'm not unseen. I'm not too much. I'm not alone. God, be near. Draw close. Interlace your fingers with mine in a way that makes me feel held, not just emotionally, but spiritually, completely. Let your hand be the place where my strength rests and my weakness is welcomed. Because sometimes the only miracle I need is to know that someone stays. And you always do. Amen.
Remind me that I matter, even when I'm silent. God, there are days when I have nothing to say, not because I don't feel anything, but because I feel too much. Too tired to explain, too full to put into words, too empty to even try. So I go quiet, not to punish, not to hide, but to breathe. And yet, in the quiet, I start to wonder, do I still matter when I'm not showing up? When I'm not offering, solving, smiling? Because it seems like when I go silent, the world keeps turning, without pause, without question, without asking if the silence means something deeper. And it does, Lord. It always does. Because silence isn't nothing. It's a language, a plea, a signal that says, I need rest, I need space, I need to be enough, even now. But I feel forgotten when I'm quiet. I feel invisible when I'm not useful, and I fear that unless I speak, serve, perform, I'll disappear. God, remind me that isn't true. Remind me that presence matters even without words, that I am loved not because I keep giving, but because I exist. Remind me that you don't need me loud to hear me. You don't need me active to hold me. You don't need me performing to find joy in who I am. You are the God who sits with the silent, who understands the groan behind the stillness, who hears the ache beneath the quiet, who says, you still matter. I'm still here. So tonight, as I fall quiet once again, not in despair, but in longing, let your love whisper louder than my silence. Let it be the place where I remember my worth without needing to say a word, because sometimes being silent is the bravest thing I can do, and still, you call me beloved. Amen.
Let me lay it all down, just for tonight. God, I have been carrying too much, too many names, too many needs, too many emotions that aren't mine, but somehow became my responsibility. Every day, I gather the pieces, the appointments, the reminders, the birthdays, the meals, the griefs that others don't know how to hold, so they hand them to me instead. And I hold them, because that's what I do, because that's who I've become, because I don't know how not to. But tonight, Lord, I don't want to carry any of it. Just for tonight, can I put it all down? The pressure, the pretending, the 100 invisible things I juggle while saying, sure, I've got it, when I don't. I want to release it, not forever, just for one holy moment, to unclench my fists and open my hands and let the weight fall into your lap instead of mine. I want to lay it all down without guilt, without fear, without needing to explain why I'm too tired to keep pushing. I want to stop being strong long enough to feel soft, to feel human again, to remember what it's like to breathe without urgency. So God, here it is. I lay down the fear that I'm not enough. I lay down the belief that if I rest, I'll lose my worth. I lay down the armor
I wear so tightly, it started to feel like skin. And I ask you, please hold it all for me. Keep it safe. Sort through what still matters. Heal what's cracked. Carry what I was never meant to hold alone. Let me fall asleep tonight, knowing the world won't collapse just because I finally paused. Let me rest in the holy truth that nothing I do can ever replace the love you already have for me. And let tomorrow come gently. But for tonight, just tonight, let me lay it all down. Amen.
I'm still holding on, but I don't know how much longer. God, some days I move like I'm on autopilot, doing the tasks, smiling at the right time, responding when I'm needed, and no one would guess that under the surface, I'm quietly unraveling. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's just a slow kind of weariness, the kind that settles into your bones, your breath, your soul. I've been holding on because I'm supposed to, because that's what strong people do, because everyone else leans on me, and I don't know what would happen if I let go first. But God, I'm tired, not just of the responsibilities, but of the pretending, of the pressure to keep saying, I've got this, when all I want to say is, please, someone take this from me. I keep telling myself, just get through this week, just hold on a little longer, but I don't even know what I'm holding on to anymore. And that terrifies me, because if I let go, what's left? God, I need you now, not as a faraway presence, not as a someday answer, but as a steady hand today, right now, in this moment where I'm still showing up, but barely. Please hold me while I try to hold everything else. Please remind me that even fragile faith is still faith, that even barely holding on still counts as not giving up. And if all I can say tonight is, God help, let that be enough. Because sometimes the bravest thing I can do is admit I don't know how much longer I can do this, but I'm still here, still whispering, still hoping. And maybe that's all you need. Amen. I'm afraid if I disappear, no one will notice. God, it's a thought I never say out loud, a fear so quiet, so heavy, I carry it like a shadow. What if I disappeared and no one noticed? What if I stopped replying, stopped showing up, stopped carrying everything so quietly? Would anyone check in? Would anyone pause long enough to wonder why the person who always cares suddenly fell silent? I don't want attention. I don't want pity. I just want to know that my presence matters, even when I'm not needed, because sometimes I feel like I exist only in the moments I'm useful, only when someone needs advice, a favor, a listening ear, a task done without asking. And when I grow quiet, the silence echoes back, confirming what I fear most. They forgot me the moment they no longer needed me. God, I know you're not like that. I know you don't need reminders to remember me. I know you don't turn your face when I stop performing. But it's hard, Lord. It's hard to feel so unseen by people you've quietly loved for so long. So tonight I bring you the fear I've carried in silence. The fear that my absence would go unnoticed, that my name wouldn't make a ripple if it vanished. And I ask you gently, is that true?
because I need to hear it again. Tell me I matter, even when I'm not showing up. Tell me you'd notice, even when no one else would. Tell me you'd come find me in the space where I've faded into the background. Let you love be louder than my fear. Let your attention be deeper than the world's forgetfulness. Let me know, truly, deeply, that even if I disappear from their world, I never disappear from yours. Amen.
I've been strong for so long, I forgot how to receive comfort. God, I've carried so much for so long, held others when they cried, spoken peace when they panicked, stayed calm when everyone else fell apart. And slowly, without even realizing it, I forgot how to be comforted myself. Now, when someone asks, "Are you okay?" I smile before I even think. I say yes because it's what I've trained myself to say. Even when I'm not okay. Even when I desperately want someone to hold me and say, "You don't have to be strong right now." But when comfort finally comes, I tense. I retreat. I don't know how to receive it without guilt, without the voice in my head whispering, "You don't deserve this. You're supposed to be the strong one." I've gotten so used to being the helper, the calm one, the capable one, that vulnerability now feels unfamiliar, uncomfortable, even dangerous. But God, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to keep pushing comfort away like it's something meant for everyone else, but not for me. Please teach me how to receive again, to soften, to open my hands and let someone else pour into me without fear or shame or apology. And if no one else knows how to do that, then let it be you. Let your comfort come like a warm blanket over my soul. Let your presence be the hand that touches my back without demanding anything from me. Let your love whisper, "You've been strong long enough. Come rest now." Because I don't want to forget what it feels like to be held, to be cared for, to be soothed in the same ways I've soothed others. I need that tonight, God, more than anything. Amen.
I just want a place where I can be nothing and still be loved. God, everywhere I go, I carry a role, a name, a purpose. I'm the dependable one, the listener, the helper, the strong one, the one who remembers everything and forgets herself. And I wear those names well, but sometimes I just want to take them off. I want to walk into a room and not be needed, not be evaluated, not be measured by what I bring. I want to rest my head somewhere and be told, "You don't have to do anything here. You don't have to be anything here. Just breathe. Just be." But that place is rare in this world because most people see value in output. They love what I do, but don't always know how to love who I am when I have nothing to give. And so I stay in motion, afraid that if I stop, they'll stop caring. God, I don't want to earn love anymore. I don't want to fear that silence will make me disappear. I long for a space where I can be nothing, not because I'm worthless, but because love doesn't demand a performance. And I want that space to be you. I want your presence to be the place where I'm free to fall apart or say nothing or simply exist without shame. No labels, no pressure, no expectations, just love. Hold me there tonight, God, in the sacred stillness where nothing is required, but everything is received. Remind me that I am loved, not for being strong,
not for being useful, but for being yours. And that will always be enough. Amen.
God, see me, even when no one else does. God, this is the quietest corner of my soul, the part where I whisper things I'm too afraid to say out loud, where I carry the ache of being constantly present for others, yet feeling invisible in return. I don't need a stage. I don't need a crowd. I just need to know that somewhere, someone sees me, sees the way I keep showing up, even when I'm falling apart, sees the kindness I give, even when no one returns it, sees the strength it takes to smile through exhaustion, sees the moments I say I'm fine when I'm anything but. I've spent so much time being who everyone needs me to be, I sometimes forget that I am a person too, with feelings, with needs, with a heart that longs to be seen, not for what I do, but for who I am. So tonight, I lay it bare before you, God. No more pretending, no more performance, just me. See me, not as the role I play, not as the tasks I complete, not as the strong one everyone depends on. See the soul beneath it all, the child still longing to be noticed, the heart still aching to be held, the giver who just wants to know they're not forgotten. Because if you see me, I can survive being unseen by the world. If you hear me, I can withstand the silence of others. If you love me, I can let go of earning love anywhere else. You've never turned away from me, not once. Even in the loneliest moments, you stayed. So tonight, I rest in that truth. I am not invisible to you. I am fully known, fully loved, fully held. Even here, even now. Thank you for seeing me, God. It's all I ever needed. Amen.